Jake here at the Yukon Wildlife Preserve. We love answering your questions, and today our staff are going to answer questions about caribou, mountain goats, bunnies, and more.
My question is about caribou. Do caribou go in big groups? And if they do, how big of groups do they go in?
So I've come to the caribou habitat to answer your question about caribou. And as you can see behind me, we have a group of a few caribou. So yes, caribou do move around in groups. And the group we have here is pretty typical. It's somewhere between 2 and 10 caribou. For woodland caribou, that's normal. Now, for barren ground caribou, who live up in the north of the Yukon, when they do their spring migrations, they end up in groups that are tens of thousands of caribou large. And that's like the whole city of Whitehorse going out and walking, say to Dawson. If you can imagine, 30,000 people from Whitehorse all moving across the landscape together. Well, barren ground caribou will move in groups that are even bigger than that. Pretty incredible. Thanks for your question.
Okay.
How do the mountain goats climb?
All right, I'm here on the cliff, the mountain goat cliff at the Yukon Wildlife Preserve. I've got my helmet, my climbing harness, my climbing rope, and most importantly, my climbing shoes. I am ready. But how do mountain goats climb, you ask? Goats, they don't have to put on special shoes. Their hooves are already like climbing shoes, allowing them to be on little ledges and get good grip on the rocks. Mountain goats are also super strong, so muscular. This helps them pull themselves up onto that ledge and come down the mountain with such ease, and they're not even afraid. You're a good climber. I think you're a better climber than me.
Do bunnies only eat carrots or not?
That's a great question. In the Yukon, we don't have wild bunny rabbits. What we do have are their cousins, the snowshoe hare. What's the difference? Some of the differences surround the birthing time. Rabbits are born in dens, and when they're born, they're called kittens. They're born without hair, their eyes are closed, and they depend completely on the mother for their warmth and survival. Snowshoe hare are born on the ground, maybe under something like a log or a rock, and they are called leverets when they are born. They're born with their eyes open, they are fully furred, and that's important because their mothers check on them and bring them food 1 time per day. As for what they eat, both hares and rabbits are vegetarians, and that means that they eat plants. Some of the plants you might see them eating are things like the leaves and bark off shrubs, grasses, other plants like vetch, fireweed, flower buds, and maybe you might even see them sneak a carrot from somebody's garden. Fun fact, in order to get the best nutrition out of the food that they do eat, both hares and rabbits eat their own poop. Luckily, humans don't have to do that. Phew!
How can people help the Wildlife Preserve?
I really appreciate you asking that question. Normally, we use the money that we get from people visiting to do things like feed the animals, fix the fences, and teach people about wildlife. But now that we're closed because of the virus, we need your help a little bit more than normal. So there's lots of ways you can help, but here's 2 ideas. One is you can share what you've learned about wildlife with your friends and family. You could do something like send this video to them so that they can learn like you are. Another idea is you could make a donation to the Wildlife Preserve. And even a little bit of money helps us a lot. And so you could do what some other kids have done, saving up money from your allowance, or there's a couple of kids in Whitehorse who ran a lemonade stand to raise money for the preserve. You can get pretty creative with some of these ideas. And if you want to find out more about how you can support the preserve or make a donation, you can head over to yukonwildlife.ca/support. Thanks. Thanks for helping keep the Yukon wild at heart. I'm looking forward to answering more of your questions.